Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Actual Edge. Happy 2024 for everybody, for all our subscribers, all our followers, all the people that come to these live streams. Happy New Year to everybody. We're hoping the best in health, job, life, romantic relationships, all the best for you and your family this 2024. From Actual Edge, we're feeling excited. We know that science will continue working towards a cure for many diseases, not only HIV, but other diseases that affect other people around the globe. We're convinced that doctors, scientists, virologists are all in the same boat, working towards progress, working towards a cure. So we are very happy to start our live stream today. Remember to hit that like button. Remember that if you have any questions, we are more than happy to answer these. So just paste them in the comment section. Any comments you have, any questions you have, we will be addressing them. And even if you just want to share your story with this community to get support from all of us, we will be happy to read your case and to assist you in whatever we can with it. We've been having a few questions in our recent videos that we wanted to address. The first one is asking us, is inflammatory bowel disease a sign of HIV? Well, this question, I'm sure, comes from a person who's probably been exposed and now feels like having a secondary effect might be a result of that exposure, and thinking that they might have HIV because of this secondary effect. Well, inflammatory bowel disease, or also called IBD, is not a direct sign or symptom of HIV. However, people with HIV may be at increased risks of certain conditions, including infections and inflammatory conditions, be it a sore throat or be it in your stomach. If you're experiencing symptoms related to inflammatory bowel disease, it's essential to consult with your medical center. All local communities have a medical center, regardless of the part of the world you live. I understand that sometimes you'd rather not go because you're scared that they might give a piece of news that you don't want to hear. But listen, from Actual Edge, we always support going to doctors. If you go to the doctor, the worst thing that could happen is that we can find something before it's actually bad. So if you have HIV and it's found, you will be able to treat it without it having any effect on your body, because your ART medicine will be very, very strong, very important. So just to end that answer, while HIV does not directly cause inflammatory bowel disease, individuals with weakened immune systems, such as those living with HIV, may be more susceptible to certain infections and complications, including gastrointestinal issues. That was one of the questions that some of you asked in some of the comments. And another question we had previously is a question from Graham Kane, 8669. He's asking, why does sickle cell disease affect Black? I'm tired of this racism. Well, sickle cell disease is a genetic disorder that primarily affects people of African descent, as well as those of Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, and Indian ancestry. So it's not only Black people that are affected by this. The reason for this distribution is related to the genetic inheritance of the disease. So SCD is caused by a mutation in the HBB gene, which provides instructions making a component of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen throughout the body. Individuals with sickle cell disease inherit 2 copies of the mutated gene, one from each patient, resulting in the production of abnormal hemoglobin known as the S variant. The reason why the gene mutation for sickle disease is more common in certain populations is thought to be related to historical factors. The gene mutation provides some protection against malaria, a deadly infectious disease that is prevalent in certain regions, and in areas where malaria is endemic, carriers of the sickle cell trait have a survival advantage, leading to a higher frequency of the gene in the population. So as you can see, there's nothing to do with racism and everything to do with science. We always, from Actual Edge, we always encourage people to not believe in whatever your traditions are saying, to not believe that there's any form of tea, flower, plant that will magically cure your disease. Always trust the power of medicine. Always trust your local hospital. Always trust your government, and always trust people and institutions that are designed to treat these diseases. Don't trust people on the internet that tell you they have the cure for HIV. Now, I've seen there's two questions in the chat box. The first one, Juan, he tells us, merciful deity, bring a swift cure for HIV to the world, ending suffering and restoring hope. Well, Juan, your positive thoughts and hopes contribute to the collective wish for better health outcomes and a future where HIV is no longer a source of suffering. Like yourself, from Actual Edge, we always promote that we should stay positive and that we should believe not only in God, Juan, but also in the power of science. Because if we pray to God, we are not 100% sure he will answer our prayers. But we do know that there's a group of scientists, probably managed by God, Juan, I'm not sure about that, but they are the ones that will bring joy to us and that will help a lot of people overcome this deadly disease. Thank you very much for your question, Juan. And we also have another question from Graham Kane. Doctor, I have drank the water shared with HIV people. Can be okay? Well, drinking water or sharing utensils with someone who has HIV does not transmit the virus. So I wouldn't be too worried about it, Graham. HIV is primarily spread through specific body fluids like blood, semen, vaginal fluids, rectal fluids, and pre-seminal fluids, but never through saliva. Saliva actually, and we covered a video about this, is called Can You Get HIV Through Kissing? The risk of you getting it would be, let's say, Graham, that the person that was drinking out of the glass had bleeded a lot inside the glass. Even under those circumstances, the risk of you getting HIV from the same glass as he did is about 1%. This bleeding a lot into the glass. If he just drank water like everybody else does, and then you drank water after, the chances are 0 to none. And believe me, even if you drank the water full of blood that we mentioned previously, that you didn't, you would still need to have some form of cut to get it as well. So the possibilities are extremely low, Graham. So I just recommend you to stay positive. And if you have any questions, or if you're uncertain about you may having HIV because of a sexual practice, you can come over to Actual Edge and we will clarify in what percentage you have to getting the virus. Now, there's a few pieces of news that I wanted to cover with you today, some mostly optimistic pieces. During this Christmas time and New Year, we've been trying to give you as many updates about the HIV cure as possible. We also included a small video on nutrition, on the type of medicine you should take, the type of food you should eat to have the virus under control. And I recommend you checking it out. I know that our audience is usually more interested in HIV cure related news rather than going through HIV diets or HIV tips or how not to get HIV. But at times, we just want to let you know that the information is limited. At Actual Edge, we are constantly trying to find new updates to the medical world, especially in HIV. The day of tomorrow, we might start speaking a little bit more about other diseases, about cancer, about diabetes, about hepatitis B, hepatitis C, hepatitis A, all the forms. We want to help as many people as we can. We want to create a community where not only HIV positive people are comfortable, but anyone with other disease. As a matter of fact, the people working at Actual Edge, we are not HIV positive, but still, we dedicate our lives to support those who are. So we're just going to comment on some optimistic news that you will get the video in the channel very shortly about the vaccine. We are very blessed to say that there's good news about the vaccine, and we are going to try our very best. Oh, Graham, or Graham, I'm not sure how you pronounce your name. It depends on what part of the world you're in. But you said, very helpful, doctor. I will try to stay positive, but HIV negative. Peace and blessings from Bangalore. Okay, thank you very much. We're very glad you found this information helpful. Staying informed about HIV and maintaining a positive outlook on health is always essential. We always say that from HIV. If you have any more questions, let us know. And peace and blessings to you in Bangalore as well. Thank you very much for your participation in this live stream. We had a question. Flavio Marcelo Sosa asked in one of the videos, why on earth is it so expensive? HIV is huge business. Hopefully big pharmas will be part of the solution, not the problem. The cost of HIV medication and treatment can indeed be a significant concern. From Actual Edge, we're perfectly aware on how problematic this could be. The pricing of HIV medications is influenced by several factors, including research, development, costs, production expenses, and the competitive landscape of the pharmaceutical industry. If a company releases a new medication and they're the only pharmaceutical company that released that medication, it's entirely up to them to decide what the price is. Is it ethical? Possibly not. But they have a business. They run a business. They want to help people. At the same time, they're making a profit. So it's essential that we believe in medicine, and we need to stop that mentality of thinking that everyone is trying to scam us all the time. We need to start believing in medicine, and in the reasons things are done is probably because that's the pace that they're following. There's not many HIV infected people in the world. But when there was a lot of COVID-19 infected people in the world, how long did it take them to find a vaccine? No time. Of course, HIV doesn't affect those many people, and they can't just work as hard on that vaccine as they would in others. So efforts to address the cost of HIV medications involve advocacy for fair pricing, support for generic alternatives, and government initiatives to negotiate lower prices. Back to the same example as always. The Chinese government, the US government, European governments, they have the means, they have the resources to provide free medication for most of the population. Countries like Somalia, like Haiti, like South Sudan, where governments don't have the resources nor the power to apply any of these strategies. Doomed. What can they do? If your government is not supporting, you cannot expect to be cured from HIV in a long time. This is very sad, but it's the way it is. It's a complex issue with ongoing discussions and efforts to strike a balance between fair compensation for pharmaceutical companies and ensuring affordability for those who need these medications. So what could we do on our behalf? Well, public awareness, policy initiatives, and basically just trying to create awareness and reduce stigma in the medical world. That's what we have to do. Anyway, as I was saying earlier, we are back to the news about this vaccine, about the vaccine being now closer than it's ever been. Recently, on this channel and other prestigious journals like Cell, Advanced Science, AIDS Map, a team of researchers led by the Duke Human Vaccine Institute has achieved a crucial breakthrough, demonstrating the activation of specific immune cells that initiate the production of broadly neutralizing antibodies in a primate study. This achievement is considered the cornerstone for developing a potential HIV vaccine for humans. So, it activates specific immune cells that can fight off the virus in your body. This study is brought by Dr. Kevin Saunders, the first author of the study and associate director of the Duke Human Vaccine Institute, and he expressed enthusiasm about the findings, emphasizing the structural and genetic similarity between these antibodies and the ones crucial for an effective HIV vaccine. In essence, the study serves as a light at the end of the tunnel, affirming that we're moving in the right direction. Dr. Saunders highlighted the necessity of assembling the additional components necessary for the formulation of a vaccine, the vaccine that we all are waiting for. Oh, hello, I say, welcome to our live stream. Always a pleasure to have Turkey in these live streams. It's a country and people that we really love. And we're wishing you all the best, Mr. Isay, for this 2024, hoping that you will have a healthy life and that this disease doesn't pay an important toll on your health. Your question is, do you think there will be a definite cure for HIV? Well, I think there will be, of course. This year, possibly not. No. Next year, I don't think so either. The following one, starting to get a bit more optimistic. The following one, we might be closer. Before 2030, I'm pretty certain. So, Mr. Aise, my moderator, El Duende Satírico, will respond in Turkish to this question. Just please be optimistic. Believe in the power of science. Believe in the World Health Organization. Believe in Joe Biden, the President of the United States, not because of his ideology, but because he's the leader of a superpower. Let's believe in what the media, governments, and pharmaceutical companies tell us, because we're all in this battle together. Okay? Thank you very much, Aise, for your question. Remember, you're always welcome here. And if you ever want to share a little bit more about your case, not only to Aise, but to all of you listening, I see there's 9 people connected. Remember, guys and ladies, if you have any questions, please write them down in the chat box. Please like the video. Don't forget to like the video so it gets promoted and we can extend this HIV update community with as many people as we possibly can. Let's ensure that this is positive not only for the people here, but also for the people around other communities in the world. It's important for us to be optimistic. It's important for us to be together. It's important for us to find a collective way of dealing with these sort of things. What better way than staying here in a live stream, reading a few positive news about HIV, sharing our thoughts, sharing our questions, filling our lives with positive energy. Believe me, it has an impact on your well-being, mental health. As we were saying, Dr. Kevin Saunders, prior to this breakthrough, the team had isolated naturally occurring broadly neutralizing antibodies from an individual. Through meticulous analysis, very careful analysis, they traced the evolution of these antibodies and their binding sites on the HIV envelope. Leveraging this understanding, they engineered a molecule capable of eliciting antibodies that closely mimic the native antibody and its binding site on the HIV envelope. So, in a study published 4 years ago, the team demonstrated that monkeys produced neutralizing antibodies when vaccinated with the engineered immunogen. This is fascinating. Guys, if you're listening to this right now, these are steps in the right direction. This is exactly what we need to hear, that these studies are working, that they're creating antibodies that will allow humans one day to take this vaccine and forget about HIV, to have a functional cure, to have something we can rely on. Here's like an antiseptic cure with the virus getting wiped out from the human body. Now, we are a bit uncertain if these antibodies would work in an effective human vaccine. However, if we fast forward to the present, this recent study involves a more potent vaccine formulation administered to monkeys. The primary objective was to ascertain whether the generated neutralizing antibodies closely resembled those vital human immunity, and indeed, they did. So, it worked in monkeys. There was uncertainty. Will it work in humans? Not sure. But now, we know, we are certain, thanks to this group of scientists led by Dr. Saunders, that they work on humans. This makes the time-off clock reduce by a lot. Guys, Dr. Saunders himself underlined the significance of this achievement, stating, "We thought we were on the right track in 2019. And now we have atomic level confirmation of those findings." What about that? This marks a substantial leap. It's a massive step forward in our quest for an effective HIV vaccine. This milestone not only symbolizes progress, but also ignites renewed hope in the scientific community and beyond. Well, this milestone is just something else. We need to understand that this treatment they used on monkeys and it started with being successful is now successful on humans. Now we're not talking about primates anymore. We're not talking about animals. We're talking about a human body. How many of you have HIV? We did recently in Actual Edge, we did a poll asking how many of our subscribers are HIV positive. We had 188 people, which is a lot less to what we usually get in our videos. However, it's still not bad. And 57% of the subscribers, the public subscribers of Actual Edge, 57% of the public subscribers of Actual Edge are HIV positive. 43% don't have HIV. We can count that some people may have not told the truth, but this is the data we have. We also asked recently, because we keep getting comments every day asking us, "Sir, when will we get the cure for HIV? When will we get the cure? We need it, sir." We understand and we empathize 100% with your situation. We want to let you know that you're not alone. We asked in the channel, when do you think we will have a functional cure for HIV? Do you want to guess how many people said before 2030? 77% of the 211 people who voted in this poll said that before 2030. 77%, ladies and gentlemen. which is a very good figure. 5% said in 2030, the year 2030. 6% said after 2030. And 12% said never. 12% of our current followers, viewers, subscribers think that they will never have a cure for HIV. We are hoping that if you're one of those people watching this live stream right now or watching it later when we re-upload it to the channel, we want to let you know, listen to the previous piece of news we shared earlier. The vaccine is closer now than it's ever been. Please, guys, stay optimistic. Don't lose faith. You will get the vaccine. Now, there's a few other pieces of news I wanted to share. There's a country that has a lot of people with HIV. A country in Africa, the southern part of Africa, that hasn't had much relevance. But from Actual Edge, we want to send all our love to this country, Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is an example of how African countries should do things. It stands as a pioneer in approving 2 groundbreaking HIV prevention products in a remarkably short span, setting an example for other African nations in urgent need of innovative prevention options. We have a question from Juan. When will we have a cure in Burkina Faso? It's a very specific question, Juan. The WHO has said that the cure will be available by 2030. So by 2030, we will have a cure, and very likely the cure will start, as always, in most developed countries. So depending on your wealth, once we have the cure worldwide, it's very likely to reach Burkina Faso, or at least the wealthiest people in Burkina Faso. I'm not sure about your social status at the moment, Juan. But once it arrives to the world, it will arrive to Burkina Faso. At what price? That we cannot tell you. But Burkina Faso, like any other country in the world, will have a chance of getting it if your government wants you to get it, if you have a stable government that cares about it. And answering Juan in the comments, we have Graham Kane. India first. You must wait. We are dying. Graham, yes, we pray for India every day, but this is not a competition on who should get the vaccine first. We do not have the vaccine. We do not send the vaccine. We just make a coverage and do all the research we can for keeping all our audience or potential audience updated, for creating a positive community. But Graham, Burkina Faso and India, there's no first or no second. The whole world needs a cure. The whole world needs it. Maybe developing countries more. Burkina Faso has a much worse situation than India. So, Graham, I'm just going to ask to be respectful, and you can count on our prayers for India every day. As we always say, we value all of our subscribers, and most of them are in India. We're always saying love to Bangalore, to Delhi. A lot of our followers, most of them come from there. We love India. But remember, all countries deserve a cure as much as yours. Let's continue talking about Zimbabwe. This is fascinating. And don't forget, Juan and Graham and Isaac, if you have more questions, you can put them in the chat box and I'll be happy to answer them. So within a mere 6 months, guys, Zimbabwe successfully approved 2 novel HIV prevention products, outpacing any other African country. Some of you might be wondering, how did Zimbabwe, such a poor country, manage to get so close to preventing HIV when countries very close to Zimbabwe, like South Africa, are still struggling? Well, something called PrEP. If you have watched any videos on this channel, you will know that oral PrEP exposure prophylaxis, comprising tenofovir, disoproxil, and amitriptyline, has been widely accessible in regions with high HIV prevalence and transmission rates. However, it may not suit everyone's needs, emphasizing viral prevention.